All right. Welcome back to another episode of One Clip, One Drill. My name is Will Corrigan. I'm going to be talking to us today about double moves and how they can compromise a defense. We'll accompany that with a drill that we did a lot with our midfielders, dodging and getting to the front of the goal. So let's start out with a clip from the PLL semifinal game, the Redwoods versus the Chaos. I think we're all pretty familiar with this game already, but I found a clip that hasn't been used in one of these webinars. So excited to share that with you. We are going to look here at Brent Adams, a two-way midi for the Redwoods, and he starts his dodge from top center. And the thing I want you to really focus on throughout this whole clip, and we'll break it down, is his footwork and his handwork throughout the life of the dodge. Right? So he makes sure that he's always a threat with his feet, and he's always a threat with his hands to compromise the defense while getting to where he wants to go. So to start the clip, he's getting channeled a little bit, to his left hand, which he takes, right? He makes a good split. They've got the slide guy is most likely right here. Kyle Harrison does a good job of putting his guy in the slide roll. There's not a lot of help from a two perspective or a bump perspective. So, Kyle is prepared to get underneath this play and pop to the other side as he splits, right? He sees that he's getting channeled, that Brent is getting channeled. He's going to go this way, right? And he's going to pop and put his guy in a tough situation. So as he goes, he beats his guy, and right there, right? That's a really important little piece that Brent does. We'll go back. He changes back to his right hand and gives a little pump, right, as this guy recovers. So now this guy is making an approach while everyone else has to stay home because Brent has his hands up and his eyes up, right? He could feed Sergio on the backside here, right? He could feed here. If there was help, if these guys had freed up as a two, right? If he comes here, there's guys inside that he could feed. And really, Brent has the ability to throw back, throw the skip, throw inside, throw here, or, reattack, as we're going to see on this in the next few seconds here, right? So he plays, he drags his guy a little bit, this footwork, he's two-handed, his eyes are up, he doesn't let the defense, commit to him completely. He drags, now he squares him up, and again, his footwork is awesome here, right? You see his hips, his whole body is squared right towards the goal and right towards his defender, so he could jab and come back top side, he could come here and here, he can jab and go underneath, or Brent is one of, if not the fastest guys in the league, and he can just split and get underneath him here, right? So, let's see as he makes this next move, jab, roll, right? And now he's got his guy, but because he stayed square and he kept two hands on his stick, his eyes looking through his defender, Brody is a little late to be here freeing up for a slide. These guys are in pretty good position, but it's not going to matter because they're Brent did such a good job of holding them with his hands, his eyes, and his feet. So he gets underneath, and now Brody finally commits, but it's too late, and Brent's able to get to the front of the cage, get his shoulders through, right, as he comes through here, squares up, another double move. Right here is a really, really good, dangerous position. Brody's has to come downhill on a slide. If you've been watching Coach Burns, defensive one clip, one drill, this is a really tough slide to come downhill. You'd rather be sliding upfield at this guy to make him roll away or move the ball through X. But because he's coming downhill, Brent feels like he has a really good opportunity to get back to his right hand, right? And as we slowly go forward, right, he's running right at the post, right? And right at the front of the goal, he's not kind of trailing off going this way. He's making sure that he gets his shoulders, hips, and his hands squared back to the goal, which is really important in this scenario, right? In these, double moves and late turn-ins that have become really popular throughout high school, college, and pro lacrosse, this is the underrated part. You have to be willing to sometimes take a hit by coming to the front of the goal. And Brent does a great job here, finishes and basically runs right through the crease to be able to put the ball on the off sticks or off hip side or far away side. I'm sorry. Blaze Reardon's a lefty. So he puts it, low and away. Blaze doesn't have a ton of time to react because he's bearing right down on him. And from that position, he can hit kind of any area of the goal, right? So, the double move here and this move, and we'll go back to the beginning, watch it one more time. It's more the dodge and it's the re-square of the slide. And in the drill we're going to talk about, you can do this with a slide or without a slide. And it's a simple drill that, to be honest, you can do right now, even while we're in quarantine. It's just a 2 to 3 person drill. So you can do this in your backyard if you have space in a goal, even if you just have something you can pretend is a goal, right? But the really important keys to this move, and there's a variety of ways to do it, is the fact that when you bounce or step away, you have to be square, you have to be athletic, and you have to have your eyes and your hands up to be able to feed, because once you do this, you're not sure what's going to happen. He could be rushing out at you and you may be, feeding Sergio on the backside here, right? Or he could be laying off and you could be just stepping into this and shooting the ball at the goal. You have to be prepared for every scenario as you step away. So your eyes have to be up, and you see he does a great job. His eyes are up here. He's not looking at his defender. He's not looking down. He's able to see, all 5 of his teammates in this play. So, as we play through this, we'll watch it one more time. He squares up, jab, defender does a good job, but he's able to roll off of him. And again, the footwork of this to go straight from, coming out of this roll, it's really easy for a guy's first few steps to be going towards the sideline or towards the corner pylon, right? He doesn't do that. He gets all the way around on this, and gets his first steps coming right back towards the goal and the middle of the field, right? Defenders are in a compromised position. He's able to get to the front and score. All right. So the drill we're going to talk about is called double move shadow boxing, right? And if you're a boxer, right, you shadow box kind of against yourself, or you have a sparring partner hitting the bags. That's basically what this is, right? We started doing this a lot with our midfielders to work on making a hard move, getting down the alley, and then bouncing and reassessing your options. Because even on primary dodges, the first dodge of a possession, you want to at least draw the attention of 2 people, right? You have your guy, you want to draw the attention of a slide, maybe an adjacent defender hedging, so that you can move the ball and create some offense on the backside. Or if you don't, you can get to the front of the cage and score, right? So here's what the drill looks like, all right? And I've separated into 4 different ways because there's just a variety of ways to do this, right? So let's start, up here in the top left. The most simple one is we have a dodger and an on-ball defender. You dodge, get down to, that kind of 5-5, 7-7 island mark. That's really good for midfielders. I know Coach Hutchinson has talked about that in one of his one clip, one drill videos. But here we see the dodger step away and he's going to roll away. So what you want to have your defender do is here and then over pursue him, going this way towards, trying to drive him and not let him late turn in, right? So as he rolls, then he rolls, gets to the front of the cage and shoots, right? And then these 2 guys maybe go to the other side or come back up here and flip rolls, right? So now let's go down here, right? The dodger dodges, all right? He steps away. The on-ball defender stays with him. Now he over pursues. He's ready for the rollback. He stays top side of him, and he's able to get to the front of the cage and finish right at the front of the goal. We'll see that in the drill coming up, all right? We go over here. We can do this going to the middle of the field. We sweep, all right? He does a good job of standing us up, not letting us, get a step on him or get our shoulders through, so we step away. And now we re-square him right in the middle of the field, and we can go either way. You can have your defender channel him from here, overcommit to one side, or play him straight up and have this guy work on, splitting or jabbing and getting down the alley. And then the last one, you can have 3 people in this. So now we see a dodger, an on-ball defender, and a slide guy. And we, same thing as these first 2, we dodge down the alley, we step away. Now the slide comes, we want to re-square him right in this area, and we can either go topside or get underneath, right, as this on-ball defender recovers and creates a window for us to see the field. And again, the keys to this are keeping our feet, underneath us and athletic, and being able to square up to our defender in the goal, and keeping our eyes up, and then keeping our hands ready to feed, because while we're practicing this and scripting what the defender's doing, you can't do that in a game. So you have to be able to, step away, feed, or roll back and get the ball out of your stick. Or if the slide comes too quickly, be able to step away and then throw the ball through X, because that's where the offense is either, going through X or on the backside. So now as we go back here to watch the drill, let's focus down here in this area, right? This rep, there will be 3 consecutive reps coming from here. Let's pay attention to those. So this first one, you can start it as a one-on-one, or as you'll see on the next one, you can start them kind of hip to hip to work on, playing through contact. And what we really want guys doing is embracing this contact. We don't want them running away from the goal, because that's not going to draw a slide, right? We want them going right at the pipe, this defender staying right on his hip, not driving him out, but just getting used to being comfortable with the fact that a guy's going to cross-check you and lean on, and the offensive guy being able to lean on him a little bit. So we drive, we step away. Notice how he squares his hips. He stays two-handed, right, whether it's right or left-handed. But now he's square to him. He can go this way, right, or he can get underneath. Or if the defender sags off, right, he can shoot the ball right at the goal. Right, he gets underneath, and we finish right to the front. All right, this next rep, right, now we see how they start here, hip to hip. All right, this is another great way. You can start this a little closer, so it doesn't have to be kind of a 15-yard grind, but this is a great job by these guys starting and being used to the fact that a guy's going to be right on your hips and your hands. He drives in. Notice the angle that one of our guys is able to drive at, right? He uses this contact, but he never leaves this line going right at the center of the goal, right? So if you kind of imagine that line staying with us as we do this, he stays right on that line, steps away, square, and goes to the front, right? So this was the first day we did it, so we wanted to really focus on just squaring up and going underneath. We did this later in the year and in the spring, and we worked on rollbacks. We worked on not bouncing, just kind of slithering, leaning on this guy and slithering through him and getting to the front. There's just there's myriad ways that we can do this drill, and all it takes is 2 guys, and you make sure that you get equal reps on both sides, playing offense and defense, because it's good as an offensive player to know what it feels like defending this and leaning on a guy and understanding, wow, I feel like I'm playing good defense, but my guy has all the options, right? He has 2 hands on his stick, his eyes are up, he's able to step away or kind of rip through me and get to where he wants to be. So we watch this last rep, square, and this player does a great job of, as he steps away, he gets his hands up. Notice that little raise up from his upper body, his feet stay underneath him, but he raises up and gets his eyes up and almost throws, not a full pump fake, but he's able to throw just a little bit of a hitch with his hands to freeze that slide, freeze the backside defense, readjust his feet, and then explode through the front of the goal, right? So that's double move shadow boxing. It's a simple drill. I think this is a really important skill to have, because if you can't beat a guy right off the dribble, right? I mean, if you're not the quickest guy, the strongest guy, the fastest guy, it's going to be tough. You have to have great footwork. You have to have great handwork, and you have to have moves like this in your arsenal so that you're still a threat throughout the life of your dodge, right? So thank you guys for tuning in. Just a quick episode today. Make sure to tune in to Coach Hutchinson, Coach Kyle's, and Coach Bergman's One Clip, One Drill this afternoon. Really excited. If you have questions, please feel free to email me. We'll leave that in the description of the drill, and look forward to doing this again. Thank you.